Well, good afternoon. As you can see by the sun and the shade here at Park House, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Coyle. Obviously, some of you know me already. What we're going to do this afternoon is just try one or two preliminary videos as we plan to produce a whole series of coaching articles to match the written series Only Perfect Practice Makes Perfect, which of course I hope you've all read, or if not, are halfway through reading. What we've noticed recently on social media are one or two pertinent points perhaps that we'll cover in this short section of video this afternoon. And by the way, you can't see him, but the man behind the camera is my extremely good friend, Steve Jacks, who is obviously our good friend and business administrator for Park House. Okay, I'm sure you will appreciate I'm an absolute stickler for safety, as you should all be on the shooting ground. And let's just start with the basic. How do we take the gun out of a slip when we're at a shooting ground? Well, this is how I do it, and I hope you do it too. What I've got, standard slip, zip all the way down. What I'm going to do is I purely take the zip, take it halfway down. What I'm then going to do is take my hand inside, and I'll open up so you can see. As I place the hand in, I get on the top lever and I open the gun. So of course when the gun comes out of the slip, it's broken and everybody can see that it's broken. And that's most important. Perhaps, if I may say, that wherever you go, be it on a game shoot, or of course you're going at your local play club, I always feel that people judge you by how safe a shot you are, not by how good a shot you are. So perhaps that's something to remember. And again, for me, a bit old-fashioned, but I always place the gun in what's called the T position. Obviously you can see it's over my forearm, and then I've got my hand clamped on the barrels and it can't go anywhere. I really very rarely walk around a shoot with the gun in this fashion, because of course you can always whack somebody on the head, as much as I know. Of course a lot of clay shooters do, particularly the trap shooters, and I certainly never place it, of course, over in that direction, because not only does it look bad, but of course you can hurt somebody by swinging the gun round, and most importantly you can damage the barrels on your gun. So that's what we're going to do. That's the T position. It's very comfortable, it's very classic, and apart from that I think it looks stylish. So there we are. So very quickly, we've taken the gun out the slip, which I hope you will agree with me and see. For those of you that have semi-automatics, obviously what you should do, of course, is remove the gun from the slip. And please excuse me, obviously, just to make sure you know the gun is empty, because I'm going to have to point it maybe at the camera on the odd occasion during these controlled situations. But if you're a semi-auto user, obviously, firstly, when your gun comes out the slip, obviously you should have your breech open, you should have your safety flag in there, okay, and that's blocking it, and everybody should be able to see. Get the gun straight up, and the best way to carry it is in that fashion. See how that is, so that your safety flag can be seen, everybody knows the gun is safe. If you don't want to obviously walk around with it like that, then of course there's one easy way to do it, and that of course is to pop the butt into your pocket. Look at that, very easy to do. Walk around with that. The moment then, of course, if you take it out, obviously make sure the gun is safely pointed to the ground until you're in the cage. The worst thing to do, folks, of course, with the semi-auto is get it out and start walking around like the John Wayne, okay, because that impresses nobody, doesn't look good, and I'm sure you'll be quickly asked to put the gun up in a vertical and safe position. So, semi-autos, please. Nice and easy. Look, looks okay. Put it in your pocket, and there we go. So, we're going to open the gun. A couple of things that I've seen on social media again. A lot of people have been talking about gun fit. And of course that they want to know what governs gun fit, and the first thing that governs your gun fit is the way you stand, and of course the way you mount the gun. That again for me is absolutely vital to get correct. We don't always, I'm afraid, do it in the way it should be done, because we do it in the way we think it ought to be done. And of course most of us, of course, when we mount the gun and it's empty, of course we want to do that by pivoting the gun with our backhand, putting it into our shoulder, which means ultimately we drop the head. not the right thing to do, I'm afraid. What you really need to do is consider bringing the gun to your face first, which is your gun sight, and the best way to do that is to use your arms in a parallel fashion, bringing the gun up to the face and then placing it into the shoulder. So, however, we need to make sure we're standing correctly first. We shoot a shotgun, not a rifle. A shotgun needs to be pointed and not aimed. That's the most critical thing. All shooting a shotgun is pointing your finger in that fashion. So, don't try and shoot a shotgun like you would a rifle. The way you stand, and I'm right-handed, left-handers please reverse it, is I stand with my feet purely the width of my shoulders. So you can see it a bit more. I'm going to step back. Now, if I'm going to be pointing in that direction with my pointing finger and my barrels, my left toe is at 12 o'clock, straight ahead, and you can see my right toe is at 2 o'clock, no further round. So, 12 and 2, the next critical factor, I'm going to relax the muscles in my front leg knee. Watch what happens. See, just relax. My body weight goes forward and I'm not leaning. My body weight goes forward, so I'm very relaxed, look, good rotation. Now what I'm going to do is I close the gun, place the gun parallel to the floor. Please notice my pointing finger is directly underneath, not down the side like you see many shooters do. Works for the champions, well, that's their job, they shoot all day and every day. But for us mortals, put your finger under there. Not only as you can see if I've got a good grip, okay, and it's well balanced, but now of course what the barrels are is purely as an extension of my pointing finger. Just point at your target. Don't have to do anything more than just point. So, the other benefit is, watch, is my arm under here, touch my elbow down, I'm not out here, so I've got good support for the gun, and I'm nice and relaxed. The toe of the stock is in line with what were my hips, they're still there somewhere. The toe of the stock, the hip and my back elbow, if you notice, form a line. It's what I call the start and finish line. Ideally for this exercise, and it is an exercise, that's where you need to start, with the gun parallel to the floor. What you then do, keeping your head straight, is with both arms together, you push the gun away, and you have to push it away. If not, your backhand will take over and you end up pivoting the gun. So, head still, push the gun away, up and up to the face, back into the shoulder. And you can see now the gun is perfectly in line with my iron under my cheek. This elbow is supporting the gun, it's not stuck out, and this elbow you'll see is at the parallel position. If I turn my back to you, you'll see the gun has got a full platform in which to sit. The moment I lower my elbow, you'll see the platform will disappear, the gun becomes unstable, and of course it will move away from my cheek. You'll get a nice little bruise on the top of your muscle, and so it's not very comfortable. So once again, close the gun, head straight, I bring the gun up to my face. Now very quickly you'll see my gun fits me, and I've got 2 to 3 fingers gap between the tip of the comb here and the tip of my nose. 2 to 3 fingers. It's a flat shooting sporting gun, so that's perfect for me. Watch again, bring it up, 2 to 3 fingers, spot on. If obviously you're mounting your gun in this fashion, okay, and the gun of course is coming up and you're too short, obviously that's the gun not fitting you. However, you'll notice that what I did is I made the gun purposely too short by pushing my left shoulder forward. Now for those of you that try and shoot your shotgun like a rifle, and you end up, if you like, in rifleman stance with regrettably your feet almost off to the full right hand side, and of course you stand like this, bring the gun up, and of course what's happened is the gun is too short. You have to forgive us, we're right in the middle of farmland here, so the tractors are up and down all the time. Right, I'll show you again. 2 things, look, my left shoulder's forward, I'm a rifle shooter now, watch what happens when I pivot the gun incorrectly with my backhand, so it comes in there, I drop my head down, and I'm right off the stock. Okay? So the way you stand, the way you mount the gun affects the way the gun fits. Okay, so for rifle shooters, that's not right. Okay? Okay, so it's a real basic guide at the moment, folks. So remember, just keep your head up, bring the gun up to the gun sight, then put it back into the shoulder. So eventually, hopefully when you decide to shoot gun down, wherever you look, the gun will come up in one smooth move. I'm going to shoot a rabbit. There we go. I'm going to shoot a going away bird. There she goes. I'm going to shoot a driven bird. Here she comes. Okay, so that's what you're after doing. Okay, one quick final point before we finish is a gun can be affected, or the length of your gun can be affected purely by where you place your front hand. And as you can see that, I might have to turn towards you, so your gun's empty. If I can make my stock too long by pushing my hand too far down the fore end. So again, obviously, I'm making it more awkward to mount. Where it does happen, of course, if I'm shooting an overhead bird, particularly a driven bird, as I bring the gun up, it's pulling it offline. Also, if my hand is too far back, obviously I've got very little control. So how do you get this correct? Especially, of course, when you're changing clothing between summer and winter. Okay, here we go. This is the exercise you need to do. So, stand nice and relaxed. You take the gun solely in your right hand. Okay, solely in your right hand, like this. Then you have to place the gun vertically. But this is where you'll need somebody watching. And Steve's going to have to help me because I think it's vertical, but I guarantee it won't be. Okay, here we go. Okay, right, what you do, look up to that point directly above, take the gun, place it vertically and get comfortable. Now, I think that's vertical. Steve, can you confirm that?
Just slightly further back.
A bit more?
Yes.
Okay, now you can tell it's vertical because the stress in my voice, because my back muscles are fully extended. I then take my left hand comfortably and place it on the fore end. That has established the correct place for my hand to be on the fore end relative to the length of my gun. Okay? So now, of course, if I shoot an overhead bird, I can take the gun, I can place it vertically without any hindrance at all or being pulled offline. But it's very important, remember, right hand or your left hand, whichever side you shoot on, only must go vertical. Must go vertical. Get comfortable, keep your eye down the rib, take vertical, take that left hand comfortably, and there we go. Spot on. You can do that when you adjust your clothing. Remember, as you put more clothing on during the winter, of course, it will add that little bit of length to the stock. Easy to do. That's where we're going to end this one. I hope those few bits and pieces have been helpful. We're going to talk a bit more in depth on the next video. We're going to run as a sample, and most importantly, get yourself onto the website, the parkhouseprivateshootingschool.co.uk. Get onto that library. You've got access then to the coaching series, Only Perfect Practice Makes Perfect. 7 articles written so far, but then you've got access to the Coach's Journal, where I'm posting articles relating to other topics such as gun fit, eye dominance, other bits that are relevant. So folks, I hope it's been helpful. Here's from us at the Parkhouse Shooting School, and we're going to say good afternoon, and we'll see you soon. Bye.